pulled into the car by my dress.
Okay, so for the record, you just stood up and put your hands straight above your head.
Yes, so that I was not being able to be budged into the vehicle.
And you said he's pulling at your dress.
Yes.
Can you describe in more detail how he's pulling at your dress?
He's pulling dress, probably a little hair, everything, and then the dress starts to rip off of my body. He opens the car door, obviously forgets to put it in park. The car starts to roll forward. He tackles me to the ground. The car grazes both of our legs, and I'm pummeled to the ground.
How hard did he push you to the ground?
I'm sorry, I don't recall. This is also fast, and he's very heavy, and I'm 5'2", he's 6'6", so.
Now, what happens after you are pushed to the ground?
I start to get beat.
Okay. Describe what you mean when you say he was beating you.
It all went so fast and so slow, whether it be punches, slapping, choking, that kind of nature. Yes.
Now,
in October 2019, a gruesome series of murders rocked the quiet neighborhoods of Cape Coral, Florida. Wade Wilson, a convicted felon, became the center of a police manhunt after the bodies of two women, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz, were discovered just days apart. Wilson, later dubbed the Deadpool Killer, had a violent history and a dangerous obsession with the fictional anti-hero Deadpool. His horrifying actions would result in a conviction that captured national attention. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Wade Wilson's criminal history was well documented before he escalated to murder. He had been in and out of prison for various offenses, including domestic violence and drug-related charges. Wilson, 25 years old at the time of the murders, had a turbulent personal life, marked by erratic behavior and violent outbursts. His obsession with the Marvel character Deadpool, a notoriously violent, irreverent anti-hero, was not just a matter of fandom but became a dangerous psychological crutch. Wilson even had a Deadpool tattoo, symbolizing his attachment to this character who embodies chaos and violence. Wilson's criminal spree began in early October 2019, with the first victim being Kristine Melton. Melton, a 35-year-old woman, was living in Cape Coral when she encountered Wilson. They reportedly met at a bar in Fort Myers on October 7th, and soon after, Melton invited him back to her apartment. That same night, Wilson turned on Melton, strangling her to death in what investigators described as a violent and brutal attack. Her body was found the next day inside her duplex on Southeast 19th Lane. Melton had suffered extensive physical trauma, and police discovered broken fingernails, indicating she had fought desperately for her life. After killing Melton, Wilson took her car and used it to flee the scene. Later that same day, he crossed paths with his second victim, 43-year-old Diane Ruiz, who was simply walking to work. Ruiz, a mother and a beloved community member, was only a few blocks away from her destination when Wilson lured her into Melton's stolen vehicle. His method of murder was equally vicious. Wilson strangled Ruiz and then ran her over multiple times with the car, leaving her lifeless body in a wooded area near Gator Circle. Ruiz's body wasn't found until October 10th, after vultures circling above the scene led a passerby to the gruesome discovery. As police launched their investigation into the murders, it wasn't long before Wade Wilson became the prime suspect. His past criminal record, combined with forensic evidence and witness statements, quickly connected him to both crimes. Law enforcement officials linked him to Melton's murder after discovering his DNA at the crime scene and tracking the use of her vehicle. Wilson was arrested on October 8, 2019, during a separate domestic violence incident involving his ex-girlfriend. While in custody, Wilson confessed to the murders in a chilling phone call with his biological father. He not only admitted to killing Melton and Ruiz, but also showed little remorse, telling his father that he would do it again. In custody, Wilson's behavior further alarmed authorities. He was described as erratic, with an unnerving fascination for violence. During interviews, he boasted about his connection to Deadpool, even comparing his killing spree to the comic book character's destructive tendencies. Investigators feared that Wilson's psychological detachment from reality could have led to even more murders had he not been apprehended.
Okay, well, weapons involved are mentioned? Yeah, he said
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I am State Attorney Amira Fox, and I stand here today with Cape Coral Police Chief Dave Newland and our teams from both our offices to announce the indictment of Wade Stephen Wilson for the murders of Kristine Melton, age 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43, both of Cape Coral.
Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Wade Wilson's trial began in early 2024, with prosecutors seeking the death penalty for the two brutal murders. During the trial, graphic details emerged about the last moments of Melton and Ruiz's lives, leaving the jury visibly shaken. Prosecutors argued that Wilson's actions were premeditated and driven by his thrill for violence. In addition to the testimonies of forensic experts and witnesses, the court heard Wilson's confession, which was recorded during his phone call to his father. In it, Wilson chillingly described how he had no regrets for the lives he had taken. After deliberating for just a few hours, the jury found Wilson guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, as well as charges of kidnapping and grand theft auto. The sentencing phase of the trial was equally emotional. The families of Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz delivered heartbreaking victim impact statements, describing the profound loss they had endured. Ruiz's mother tearfully recounted how her daughter had been taken from her in such a senseless act of violence. Melton's family spoke of a vibrant woman who had her life cut short far too soon. In August 2024, Wade Wilson was sentenced to death for the murders of Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. The judge in the case, while delivering the sentence, described the murders as heinous, atrocious, and cruel, noting the violent and deliberate nature of Wilson's crimes. The court emphasized Wilson's lack of remorse, particularly citing his chilling confessions and callous attitude during the trial. His previous criminal record, which included charges of domestic violence and drug-related offenses, further cemented the case for the death penalty. The families of Melton and Ruiz, devastated by the loss of their loved ones, took some solace in the sentencing. However, the emotional toll remained heavy. Ruiz's mother, during her victim impact statement, described the profound heartbreak of losing her daughter in such a violent manner. Melton's family similarly expressed their grief, speaking of the bright future Kristine had before her life was senselessly taken away. As Wilson left the courtroom to serve his sentence on death row, he remained cold and detached, showing no regret for his actions. His reign of terror over Cape Coral had finally come to an end, but the scars left behind would last a lifetime for the families and communities affected by his brutal murders. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.